So the battle to experience joy, this battle is in your mind. Every single day when you wake up, you have the temptation to say, am I going to live my life for Jesus or for this world? You have to fight it every single day. The temptation to focus on what is on earth instead of what is to come. When there will be no more pain and no more suffering and no more leaks. Can I get an amen from the church? But Paul says this in Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. He says, the sinful nature that we all have on the planet Earth, it wants to do evil, which is just the opposite of what the Spirit wants. And the Spirit gives us desires that are the opposite of what the sinful nature desires. It says these two forces are constantly fighting each other, so you are not free to carry out your own good intentions. And it's true. While we live on planet Earth, there's always that tension that's pulling us away from what the Spirit wants. You wake up every morning with the temptation to live a double-minded life, but Paul says, no, live single-mindedly for the life that is to come, not the life on planet Earth. He says in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, Paul says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. That the testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So do you, in your life, do you believe in Jesus? Maybe you've never believed in Jesus truly before. You want to experience this joy and you never have. Have you been changed by Jesus? Then admit your failures and surrender your mind to Christ. Surrender your mind to Christ and experience the joy of the Lord, that no matter how many leaks you have in this life, you try to fill it up as much as you can and you try to experience joy. But the thing is, if your joy is from the Lord, you will have a joy that never ends. Amen? It will continuously flow, and that no matter what happens in your life, no matter how many leaks that you spring up, it will never run dry. If your source of joy is from the Lord, that we will live single-mindedly, to live as citizens of heaven. This is how Paul is able to experience joy in all that he does, whether he's on house arrest in Rome or thrown into a dungeon or shipwrecked on an island, whether he is beaten or thrown into prison. He doesn't care because he's not living for this life. He's living for the next one, and he's full of the joy in the Lord.